I just wanted to give you guys a nice video in real time, not just us sitting in front of a computer telling you the specs of a flash. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're gonna go into using the Godox AD200 and the Godox V1 Mid for an entire wedding. So in a video that I'm gonna be making, I'll be talking about the V1 Mid versus the V1 Pro. So you guys will see the comparison between this flash and another flash that's very similar. The AD200 obviously is not a flash that you attach on top of your camera. It's just an off-camera flash, but it has a lot more power. So the goal today is to use the AD200 for situations where we need a lot of power, with family photos, where we need to light a lot of people, with group photos on the dance floor, or during the ceremony bouncing as they're walking down. That's gonna be my main light. This will be a little secondary light to either fill, to add a little bit of edge lighting, to create different scenarios with two flashes. It's not too often that we shoot with two flashes. Usually we stick with one because we try to keep things as simple as possible. But I wanted to show you guys, because I did post a video, how this is the perfect wedding setup, in my opinion. It's nice and light. So we're gonna use this for off-camera lighting as our secondary flash. Once the reception hits, this is gonna go on camera, and we're gonna be shooting with this on camera, which is a much lighter kit than using a V100 or using a V1 Pro. Is it enough to keep up today with what we're doing, both with off camera and with on camera at the reception? We'll show you guys some photos at the end. You can be the judge, but we've done it before, so I know that it's gonna work. I just wanted to give you guys a nice video in real time, not just us sitting in front of a computer telling you the specs of a flash. That's not the style of videos that I like doing. I wanna take you guys on location, show you what these things actually do, and what you can get away with. Kit that's, I think that one's like 300-ish, 250 to 300. And then this one I think is like 175, 179. So not terribly expensive. And then I'll be using the X3 Pro in order to fire everything off. So if you guys have any questions, leave them below and follow along. Let us know what you guys think. All right, so we're about to start the ceremony right now. For the ceremony, if you guys follow the channel, we've posted a few videos at this venue. One thing that we do is we set up one flash bouncing. So if the bride is gonna be walking and everybody's gonna be walking towards the altar, I'm gonna have a flash probably to the right or to the left of me in the corner bouncing, and that's gonna fill the room in. So it's gonna fill in as they're coming in. The flash in the back is gonna be more direct towards them, so it's going to be in the other corner diagonal, and it's going to give them a little edge light, a little backlight to give them a little separation. In the middle of the ceremony, what we're going to do is we're going to switch the angles. So when this one is bouncing when they're walking down, we're now going to flip it straight, and then the one that's in the back, we're going to angle it so it's bouncing. Why do we do that? Because during the ceremony, we're going to shut off the flash entirely, so we're going to be shooting with available light. Once the ceremony is done and they're going to be walking back the other way, we're basically going to have the opposite setup of what we did when they were walking towards us in the beginning. So this light is going to hit them straight on, on the back, and then the one that is going to be in that corner now is going to bounce, so it's going to fill in as they're walking away from the ceremony. So pretty simple. Since we're going to be shooting indoors, that's another reason why we can get away with using the V1 Mid, because at 55 watts, it's not the most powerful flash, but keep in mind that we're going to be shooting at ISO 1600, 3200, something pretty high. I even sometimes shoot at 6400, because I would rather have a sharp image that has a little bit of grain than have a blurry image that's clean. I can't use the clean image that's blurry because they moved. So because of those reasons, with the higher ISO, the sensitivity to that flash is going to be a little bit higher. So that way I don't need to be blasting at half power, quarter power. I'll probably be going 1/32 power, 1/16 power, where I can shoot pretty quickly. So that's the idea. We're going to set it up for the ceremony right now. Two flashes, diagonal, one bouncing, one straight on. And we could get away with one flash that's bouncing, but sometimes we like to be a little extra. So let's go get to work. All right, guys. So overall, I think you guys can see from our examples, from how it looked while we were shooting, more or less the combination that we use is plenty for what we need. Because I think a lot of people get caught up on, I need the biggest flash, I need the most powerful thing in the world. And if you want to carry extra weight, if you want to use whatever you want to use, go for it. But what I like to do with our channel is to show you guys different options. So for us, for example, even that V1 Mid, that could have been replaced with a TT685. That could have been replaced with TT600. They're all going to give you a very similar outcome, especially when you're using them off camera, like on a light stand, right? It's when you bring them on your camera that the V1 Mid, I think, outshines those other flashes, because now it's a much easier setup. It's much easier to control those flashes. That's not to say that the 600, the 685, a bunch of flashes, they can all work, and they're probably going to be a little bit cheaper. So if you're on a budget, you can go with those flashes and it's going to be just fine. But what I wanted to show you guys is what we do with a decently powerful flash like the AD200 and something that's a little bit less powerful like the V1 Mid. The V1 Mid is great. I think that thing is going to last us a very long time as long as the LCD, we protect that thing. Because you can crack it. So be careful when you store it away. Don't leave it in a bag where it's just going to be getting thrown around. The reason I say that is one of our photographers, I remember this must have been like 7 years ago, he left an AD200 without the case that we always recommend inside of his lighting bag, and it was bouncing around back there, and 2 of his AD200s, the screens cracked. So just be very careful with your equipment, guys. Any equipment, this could have been Pro Photo, whatever. Any LCD screen is going to break. It's just glass. So tangent done. In the end, V1 Mid, AD200, I think it's a wonderful combination. Again, if you need more power, you use the AD200 during the day. If you don't need as much power, you have the V1 Mid, and then you can always use the V1 Mid as your on-camera flash if you're shooting with an on-camera flash at the reception. So at that point, you can even control the AD200 as an off-camera lighting if you want to set up off-camera lighting at the reception. We never use off-camera lighting, like a room light on our shots. I have a theory on that, but I can explain that to you in another video. Anyway, speaking of which, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy our content, feel free to subscribe, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. All right, bye guys.